There are moments in life when something inside you whispers, there's more out there. More life, more color, more truth. That's what Brett felt when he made the decision to leave everything familiar and move to Miami. It wasn't about running away. It was about running toward something. A new chapter. A deeper understanding of himself. A richer, more vibrant experience of the world and his place in it. Before he even arrived, Brett found himself inexplicably drawn to one particular apartment online. He hadn't seen it in person, but something about it felt right, as if it was already his. He applied without hesitation and then proceeded to call every day to check on it. So much so, in fact, that he made the assistant manager cry. They're close now, and he later hired her and gave her a promotion. So it all worked out. On move-in day, as Brett stepped into the space that was now his, he noticed something just outside his window. A stunning, historic building standing in quiet contrast to the towering glass around it. It pulled at something in his heart. He would later learn it was the Freedom Tower, a sacred space where thousands of Cuban refugees were processed during the Cuban Revolution, a place where people began again. A place of courage, hope, and rebirth. At the time, he didn't fully understand why it hit him so hard. But something in his spirit knew it meant something. This was a new beginning, one that would unfold in ways he couldn't yet imagine. Nearly a year later, while Brett was exploring life and rediscovering who he was, something else or someone else began showing up. Dylan. It started casually, through Instagram likes and comments, playful messages and emojis. But while Brett was on a journey of self-exploration, Dylan was dreaming of something deeper, something lasting, a love he could build a life around. If there's one thing you should know about Dylan, it's that he's persistent, and beautifully so. While Brett was searching inward, Dylan was gently, steadily making his way into his world. And when the timing was finally right, they agreed on a proper date, but the anticipation was too much. The universe had waited long enough. They met the night before, and from that moment, they were never apart again. Within 2 weeks, Dylan was unofficially living between Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and Brett had made space for him in his home and in his heart. There was just one red flag. Dylan didn't like dogs. But love has a way of reshaping things. And now, while Dylan still claims he doesn't like dogs, he is absolutely shamelessly obsessed with their daughter, Dolly. So much so, Brett's convinced she might love Dylan more than him. One day, while talking about the Freedom Tower and Dylan's Cuban roots, something clicked. Dylan mentioned his grandmother, one of the first refugees to come to America during the Revolution. The very same building Brett saw outside his window on move-in day became a quiet symbol of their shared rebirth. A building that had welcomed people starting over. A building that meant freedom, transformation, and new life. That building symbolized everything Brett had come to Miami seeking. And now it held the roots of Dylan's story too. In its shadow, two journeys, generations apart, had quietly converged. And so, it feels nothing short of magical that they will be married at the Cuban Museum, just a short distance away from that very tower, a place that holds history, legacy, and now, a new chapter of love. Where stories of survival, courage, and hope are honored, Brett and Dylan will begin their own. Not as two separate paths, but as one. You can call it fate. You can call it divine timing. You can call it God, the universe, prayer, manifesting, or all of the above. But when the buildings whisper, when your heart knows before your mind can catch up, that's not coincidence. That's something written. This was never a random love story. This was a story mapped out long before either of them arrived. And somehow, across generations, across oceans, across timelines, they were always meant to find each other. Because love like this, it doesn't happen by chance. It's written in the stars. and it always finds its way home.